What's up, my friends? It is time. Thursday night football is here, but also we've got some NBA to review, rewind, study, and plan ahead so that we can hopefully hit the ground running for tonight's slate. It was a tough one last night. Listen, this is going to happen when you got a slate like Tuesday night where we had a dozen or so members in the top 20 in tournaments. It was a crazy Tuesday night. There's going to be a night to follow. Sometimes it's going to be kind of the opposite. And last night was a tough one to swallow. Now, when you have successes like you do on Tuesday night, it's extremely important to also not just look at that night saying, well, this is the new norm. We're going to win every single time, every single night, no matter what. No, that's not how DFS works. You ride the ebb and flow of all the success and failures, and that's just the normalcy of DFS in a nutshell. Honestly, if it wasn't unique in and of itself, each and every slate, it wouldn't be called daily fantasy sports. We are here to get better. We're here to learn, to study, to figure out what went wrong so that we can try not to emulate the failure going forward, and we can emulate the success from those people on those nights when we have a tough time. When we trip and fall, we want to look around and see who did not, find out what they did so that we can potentially follow them the next time a slate like this comes around. So we're going to do that right here, right now. I am hoping chat's doing well today. I'm very focused. I'm locked on. I'm excited to talk about it all. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. But while I'm doing so, if you could just do me a huge favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, of course. And then there's a notification bell. Slam that thing right there. That'll make sure that you get access to all of our videos. We have, I think, 5 or 6 videos per week. We have 6 streams per week. It adds up to like 10 to 12 hours of free stuff here. Now, I'm going to go full screen real quick. CG was just telling me that they added something under the content, and this is the pivots tool. So I talked about this with CG. I think we talked about it last year. Like we try to find ways to show honestly, it's like everything we do is like, we want to produce tools and content that is, solid for people, but we also want to make things that people are able to open up, look at, and create winning lineups quickly, or at least be competitive immediately. So this was a concept him and I had talked about last December of NBA. And it's just something we never got around to. And then CG and Numbers Guy, the guy who does the stacks tool for the NFL, they got together and put this bad boy on the site this morning. So check this out. So what it's going to do each and every day, this pivots tool is going to show you the chalkiest 5 people based on our ownership percentage, projected ownership percentage on each site. All right. From here, what we have is our model will identify similar priced players, I believe $1,000 above or below the salary. Pivot tool is amazing. I love that, man. So the tool will take into account projection, rating, ownership, and rise percentage, these 4 categories, and it'll give you players that would be the pivots based on our models. And I believe the ownership percentage of the pivots, I don't know what the number is, looks like it's potentially at least always going to be half of what the highest person is. So like your pivot's not going to be Cade Cunningham 52 to like a 48% guy, right? Like the pivots are going to be much lower in ownership. So this is pretty freaking cool. I love that they put this on the site. We didn't know how to execute this last year, and some very smart people, again, Numbers Guy and CG got together and they're like, here, this is the idea. This is how we see this working out. And there we go. So pivot tool live, ready to rock and roll. On some of these sites, you got to pay attention to the multiple position eligibility. That's, of course, going to play a role in some of how you're, going to select your pivots. But I love what you guys are saying. Chat, loving it. I don't play NBA, just here for the good company. Appreciate that, Vu. That is very, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you to say. Seriously, though, appreciate that. It says, okay, fine. Maybe I'll play an NBA slate tonight. Yes, the flannel is the dinner jacket in my town. The flannel got busted out today. It's cold. I woke up, it was like 32 degrees in the house. It felt freezing. So here we are. Very excited about the pivot tool. It's going to be very helpful for people. And there you go. Now you have it. All right. And of course, the study hub and the projections and all this stuff is still here. If you want to do like your own studying and figure out your own plays, by all means, go for it. But we've got all this stuff identified for you going forward. I think you will really, really like that. And we'll go ahead and hopefully have some success for my man Stephen Tony here, saying today's my first day looking to get in on the winning. Well, welcome to the family, man. Been watching the last 2 weeks, super excited. Hey, you took the step today. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we get a lot of people here on YouTube that ended up trying out the website because of the YouTube stream. We get a ton of clicks from YouTube. I know that this is, I think part of it, honestly, is people enjoy the transparency. Like right now, I'm going to show you, legitimately just show you last night, I got destroyed. I got absolutely destroyed. I had, so the night before, I maxed out the $4 on Fanduel, took, I think I had like the 7th highest scoring lineup. I was close to like $30,000. Last night, exact opposite. I got crushed. I think I did 75 lineups. I didn't do 150. I just wasn't going to have time to mess with everything before pre-lock. I knew my life was just going to be different last night. And I ended up doing like whatever 75 times $5, or what was it, 444 last night. So whatever that is, it was like $350. And I returned maybe 50, 40, something like that. Like I lost like 70% of my money. It's just a tough night. It's going to happen. And the transparency, I think, is clutch for people, right? Don't forget the thumbs up. Appreciate that, Vu. And transparency is clutch, right? I mean, everybody needs to learn how to be transparent in the industry. It's a tough one because I think a lot of people they feel the need to convey, we always win here. We win 24/7. That's not true, though. Nobody wins 24/7. You got to be able to take your lumps to be able to enjoy the successful nights too, right? If you're not able to sit there and say, man, we got walloped. We got mollywopped. Well, what the heck? If you can't realize that that's going to happen, when are you going to enjoy those nights where you go, boom? Tuesday night, we exploded. Wednesday night, we sunk like a rock. And that's going to happen. That's just DFS. Okay, so looking at last night's DraftKings projections, we'll go 150 real quick. Just take a peek. Opto ends up going 248. I'm intrigued. What was the cut line in the double ups? Just not going to get there. It was a 262. And nights like this are always interesting too, where the cut line in tournaments, like the $40 mid-range jumper, is 6 points higher, only 6 points higher than the double up line. And I think, unfortunately, I did not download the GPP cores. Did someone erase them this morning? They did, because members keep asking for that. Oh, darn it. I was hoping to have them up. Anyways, there was just a few things that really, really hurt us. Rashawn Holmes got ejected. He was playing very well before the ejection, unfortunately. So, had he stayed in there, would we have scored enough points to get through the cash line? Maybe. Joe Val, absolutely stunk it up in a matchup where he should have exploded. It was his third game in 4 nights. He had played the 30th, second, and then, that's a lot of minutes there. It was his 4th game in 6 nights if you really went back to the end of October. So who knows? Maybe it was just a little fatigued. Maybe the rotations were cut short. Norman Powell made it in there at 4,600. I thought that was interesting. He played great. And, Svi Mikhailic in there at 3.7. And then really it was a night where a lot of the value, they just kind of dudded out, man. Like they just sucked. Let me show you here. Here are the highest values last night. I wouldn't say sucked. I shouldn't say sucked. But they just didn't do what you expected, right? Like Malik Beasley, highest projected value we had. Yeah, he hit 5.4 times value. So he didn't sink your lineup. But at that ownership, you ended up paying for him. Like the projected ownership, 24%. He was 48% owned in that single entry jumper. Zvi Mikhailic here, 23% projected ownership. He is 56% owned. And like, yeah, they did okay. 22 points. They returned value of 5.9, 5.4. That's fine. But at that extremely high ownership rate, they just didn't get there. A couple other guys we talked about, we were slightly concerned about: Jordan McLaughlin, Jared Vanderbilt. They did all right as well. I mean, McLaughlin did not, 8 points. Vanderbilt, 24, 6.7 point return, points per dollar return there. It just, I mean, where's the first value hit, right? Firkin sucked. Average, right? A 5 value, 5.2, a 5.4 value from Kyle Anderson. So it's like, look at all these top values and nobody boomed. Here's the value booms, and they're in the 4K range. 4.6 for Norman Powell. Batum, 4.3. You want to see something? Oh, Gary Trent was in my cores. I remember that. He had a nice night, 32. That one makes me feel good. I at least got one right. And I think my other one was Jared Allen. And I think I put Evan Mobley. Same. I put them both in there in the front court. Anyways, let's look at something. It just hit me because we had all those values suck it up. And there were a bunch of studs who really didn't go boom either. Now I'm intrigued. We talked about at the very end of the stream yesterday about a rule that we set in 2020 through our rewind and our studying. And we realized that you could just have these great nights. Hold on. Let me throw this on 3 uniques and let's go ahead and set this rule up. I want to try it right now. It's worth doing. So I'm going to do a group. Let me think real quick. I'm trying to remember if I can do it in here. Create group. Salaries less than 4. All right. Now, actions. You can add all players to group. Okay. And now we're going to make a quick rule and we're going to say at most 1. I'm totally intrigued, actually, because last night it might have been the night to do it. And then greater than 9K. We're going to click the actions arrow, add all players to group. At most 1. Y'all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Is it going to be any better? You have the cores in a group, but the GPP cash are mixed in. Yeah, Steven, go ahead. List them out for me, buddy. What the heck? Let's put a cap on our ownership. I mean, look, it's just the value just got destroyed. When the value is just going to get wrecked. I mean, how good of a night can it really be? Our value plays got wrecked, and that's going to happen. And if I sat here on stream and all I ever did was show you the nights where 142 out of 150 cash, but I don't show you the other nights where only 10 are going to cash, I'd be doing you an injustice. That would be totally not okay to me. I'm going to show you both, my friends. I'm not going to be a snake oil salesman. There are nights when 142 out of 150 lineups cash and you win thousands of dollars. There will be nights in DFS when you MME that you will, no matter what you freaking do, you are going to only cash 10 lineups. The exact opposite. 140 hit and only 10 missed on Tuesday or 8 missed on Tuesday. Well, guess what? On Wednesday, it looks like there might be 8 that cash. The exact opposite. That is life. I will not pretend it's anything different. That's life. That's DFS. I appreciate that, man. I mean, what the heck? That's what this place was really built upon. Just being transparent, being honest, man. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to pretend like you could have done this last night and had a good night. No, you probably couldn't have. Some things were wrong. Such is life. Yeah, I think 3 of us had Brunson in there. Bogdanovic, he was another one. All right, let me plug in some of these scores. Look, I mean, we're talking 10% of the lineups might cash. That's just a tough night, fam. It is what it is. Let me delete these groups real quick. And we'll look at the other one. So I'm going to do a quick group. I'm going to type in these players. We had Brunson. We had Gary Trent. Jarrett Allen. Mobley was in there. Lonzo and LaMelo both made the list. Ratings smashed for you. Nice. Maybe I should have crunched by ratings last night. Goodness gracious. All right. There's probably a few more players. That can't be it. We had 4 coaches, about 4 to 5, tucking 20 picks. There must have been some more. Maybe this was just like me and Puggle or something. Yeah, it's been a lot of them, Jamie. Let's try at least 3 from these cores. Can it be any better? Well, a little bit better. I mean, you're turning a profit last night now. Sheesh. You listed them all. Oh, I missed the rest of them. My bad. Let me keep adding people. Bang. Eubanks when he got the start. Who else do we have? Oh, we also had what's his face? Thad Young was in there. Went off the bench. Bogdanovic. I loved him last night. Batum made the list again. Anunoby. Yep, I remember that one. I think he was in mine. Miles Turner. Yep, saw him in Puggles. Andrew Wiggins was in CG, I think. And Edwards. I think he got hurt last night. All right. So we have it's a large list. Let's go 4, at least 4. Thank you for that, Tony. Yeah, I mean, unless we get a runner here that just kind of pops off, it looks like it's just a losing night. Well, it looks like, I mean, if you ask for a lot of cores, you can at least have salvaged your night a little bit. Well, that's good. Miles Bridges for most improved player. No freaking joke, bro. He is such a monster right now. You win some, you lose some. Hey, I mean, is last night just like the perfect example for why you just don't invest more after big wins? Like, in fact, what was it? I won $4,000 something on Tuesday night. Like, it was a great night, guys. Profited. Total profit was like 3,800 something. Okay. So what did I do on Wednesday? I toned it down a little bit. I invested less. You know, a lot of people have the propensity, they have a real good night, and what do they do the next night? Oh, I got more. I'm more flush in my bankroll, my bank account, right? You know, they look at their DK account. They went from $38 to 178. So what do they do the next night? They're playing $95. They have a real bad night. They give back 90 of it. Now their account's back down to like 88. And after 2 days, even after a huge hit, they're only up like $40. They just gave it back like that. Got to be smart. What's up, Mills? Good to see you. That's right. Kuzma got hurt last night, too. I think he was in Team A's. That was a tough night. Al Horford was in mine, but I think on Yahoo, unfortunately. Dang. He was priced at like 8.1K on DraftKings or something. But on Fanduel, he might have been like 7.1. I thought he was manageable, or vice versa. He was like really high on one site and the other one he was okay. Cat, our projections were all over Cat. He had a bad night, unfortunately. Batum, by the way, had like 6 points at halftime. Crazy. And then just buries like 5 threes in the second half. Yeah, I mean, a loss is a loss. It is what it is. He was in my Yahoo core. Yeah, Al Horford. Yahoo salvaged my night as usual. It is what it is, guys. I mean, it's a loss. It's a loss. Let's go see how some of these pros fared, what they did. I don't know. Jamie, what's up? What's up with Rudy? I'm not even in tune with any news tonight. Let's find the $88.58 entry. Dang, let's look at McLovin. And we'll look at Mazwa. Yeah, we'll look at their exposures and players and stuff like that, okay? So his top lineup, McLovin, took 2nd, 5th, and 7th. What a core. We'll have to check his core out here in a second. Again, look at the ownerships. Just we don't care about ownerships too much in DFS, NBA DFS, excuse me. 165% total accumulated ownership for the lineup. Jaren Jackson popped off at 5-5 in a matchup where I thought it would be tough against Denver. Oops. Brunson with a 53 bomb. This guy's playing out of his mind. 15 free throws? What? Sexton went to the locker room again, came back out, played okay. Patrick Beverley getting the start for the Wolves. Turn back the dial a little bit. Out of 58 lineups, 58 times $88. So we're talking about $5,100 total in play. Okay. 100% on Drew Eubanks. 79 on Luka. I mean, he had 100% Eubanks and then also some Thad Young. How big's the pool? 5, 10, 15, 25, 30, 40-ish, about 40 players. Never seen this name here. First place winning lineup, 161% ownership. Jordan Poole, of course, goes off, and Damian Lee was back. That makes sense. No, it doesn't. Will Barton popping off. Dang, man, 330. He popped. High ownership to Eubanks again. Thad Young also getting in there a ton. Pat Bev. Korkmaz. I mean, look at his top 5 owned players. Look at this. How interesting. His top 5 owned, all the value plays. I think the most expensive player here is Korkmaz. He was like 4.2K. How interesting. All value. Then Joe Val, Luka. More value. Brunson, Trent, Michael Porter. And here's the studs down here. Harden, Jokic, Curry, Van Vliet, Cat. How interesting. So tonight we have a 5-game slate. Say what? We don't have Rudy Gobert out. He's right here. We've got an ownership percentage on him, projection, floor, ceiling. He's got a Fanduel rating. DraftKings, same thing. He's got everything. Seems like he's good to go, man. I've been playing the 25-cent jukebox, 20 max, spending $5 and coming out sometimes 10 to 15 ahead. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Jared, so I've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. Literally, you can take the projections most nights, I think all but 2 on the season so far. You can throw them up onto, FanDuel, nickel, 150, optimally crunch, and you can make like $5-10 a night. I've heard people do it in the jukebox on DraftKings as well. They don't do too much to their pool, if anything at all. Some people leave it on one unique. They crunch and they just make a few dollars. Now, the concept is like, let's say it hits 80% of the time, right? And you do this over 200 NBA slates. We're talking 160 slates where you're making $5-10 profit. Like my man's saying, 10 to 15 here. Sheesh. Like, what if you had 160 out of your 200 slates cash? Which it's not terribly difficult to do at the very low stakes level like that. Multiply that times 10, 160 slates times $10, $1,600. Who does not want to be up $1,600 by the end of the NBA season? Now, there's, the problem people have with that is, while they're winning, they're like, well, I want to go try other stuff, right? So yeah, they go through 2 weeks of doing it on FanDuel Micros and they're up like $86. So what do they do one night? They're like, I'm going to do a $25 contest or a $44 contest, right? And then all of a sudden you lose and you give back 2 weeks worth of, profit. The micros on both sites, you guys can honestly probably make several hundred, couple $1,000 if you did that and only that all season. Seriously. I mean, we're talking 2 years we've been tracking this, going on 3 right now. I did a video on it last year. It's on my YouTube join paywall thing. I've got it back there so you guys can see it. It's like, can you make thousands of dollars in the micros? It's like a 5-minute video. It shows you a month of data, month and a half of data and research from last year that we did. I mean, we've talked about it here a couple times. I mean, it's tough. You can take small profits over the course of a lot of days, and a lot of small makes a big one, makes a big old dent, right? Like it's just not fun for everybody. They're like, well, yeah, I won $7, $3 profit. Okay. Your bad night. What happened? What happened on your terrible night? I lost $3. Okay. You're up $25 in the week, though. 30 weeks of DFS, 30 times 25. It's just, come on, $750 profit, good for you. This is going to be 90% of the field is not going to make $750 during the NBA season. And as free money, you just got to be consistent and not get distracted. Like, don't get distracted looking at shiny, bright things. Seriously, you just do that for the course of 6 months of NBA, and you have a pretty high probability of coming out ahead by hundreds, if not a couple $1,000s. It is what it is. It's been going on for years. I'm not the first person to bring this up, by the way. I don't want to pretend like this is my idea. This is my strategy. It's just been a thing. But you know who doesn't care about it or take advantage of it? A lot of the sharks. Why do they want to put 150? Like, before I don't even do it. I'm not a shark. I'll play a couple $1,000s a night, but that's not like a shark, right? Like, those guys are doing tens of thousands. That's a puggle, a dab and puggle. I got a couple grand in play. I don't go play the nickel every night on Fanduel because I do not have time pre-lock to throw in an extra 150 into that, or have to even think about like doing a CSV edit for yet again another contest or another website. So I just don't. So it's not, you're just not going to get people in there that are out there like trying to win the nickel, right? Go get yourself some free money. All right. I was going to look at tonight, but listen, yesterday I stayed for like 50 minutes. I'm tired. So I got my booster shot on Tuesday, and I've been, I just don't feel the best. So I'm going to go chill, get something to drink. I'm going to relax. Focus a little bit on tonight's slate. I'll have to look at the pools a little bit, focus on what I want to do with my cores. I'll post those around 6 p.m. I hope to see some new people joining here. In the meantime, grab that description link or the link right there in chat. Check us out. And hopefully you guys have already hit the like button. Just do that. Hit the like button on your way out today. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll talk some showdown victories and we can look at some NFL showdown on Rewind or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. We just here hanging out, looking at DFS, trying to get better together. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully somebody bings something big tonight. Good luck to you, and fortune favors the bold, my friends.